He was 62, fit for his age, still working part-time, and proud of staying healthy without medications. But one morning, something felt off. No morning wood. He brushed it off. Maybe he didn't sleep well. Maybe it was the stress from helping his daughter move last week. Then it happened again, and again, and slowly. Without him realizing it, his confidence began to change. He felt a bit more cautious with his partner, a little more hesitant to initiate intimacy, and a quiet question started looping in his head. What if something's wrong with me? But he never asked anyone, not his doctor, not even his closest friend. Because for men, there's this deep, silent expectation that our bodies will just keep going, that anything wrong down there is just a normal part of aging. But what if it's not? What if your penis isn't just reacting to age or stress, but actually trying to tell you something important? Most men don't realize this, but the penis is one of the most sensitive feedback systems in the male body. It responds to blood flow, hormones, nerves, sleep, stress, even subtle shifts in your circulation, long before other symptoms appear. And when things aren't right, it often sends early warning signs. The trouble is, most of us never learned how to read those signs. We're taught how to drive, how to shave, how to pay taxes. But no one ever sits down and says, hey, here's how your penis might try to save your life one day. So what happens? We ignore the quiet signs. We chalk it up to age. We wait until it gets worse, until it starts affecting our relationships, our self-worth, our sense of masculinity, and by the time some men seek help, it's no longer a small issue. It's a medical one. Today, that ends. This video is not about shame or fear. It's about clarity. Because your body is always communicating. You just need the right person to translate. In this video, we're going to decode the 5 most common signals your penis sends when something is off. Signals that are often ignored, but could be the key to protecting your performance, your health, and yes, even your heart. And I promise you, by the end, you'll never look at these signs the same way again. So take a breath, set judgment aside, and let's listen to what your body's been trying to say. Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Berman. I'm a urologist and sexual health specialist with over 25 years of experience helping men and women navigate the most personal aspects of their health without shame, without embarrassment, and without judgment. I've spent decades in clinical practice, in research, and in national media, helping people understand that what happens in the bedroom is never just about the bedroom. It's about blood flow. It's about hormones. It's about stress, nutrition, aging, and how all of that shows up in the most intimate part of your life. But here's what I've seen over and over again, especially in men over 45. Many of you don't know how to listen to your own bodies, and it's not your fault. No one taught you that subtle changes down there can be signs of bigger issues. Circulation problems, early diabetes, hormonal shifts, even heart disease. So you wait. You stay quiet. You power through. Until one day, the warning signs become impossible to ignore. But today, you're doing something different. You're showing up for yourself. You're choosing to learn. And that choice matters. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 5 of the most overlooked signs that something may be off with your sexual health. I'll explain what each one means, how to tell if it's normal or not, and most importantly, what you can do about it starting today. You'll walk away with more clarity, more confidence, and more connection to your own body. And I promise, this won't be scary or technical or awkward. Just real, honest insight from someone who's helped thousands of men regain not just their performance, but their peace of mind. So let's get into it. The 5 warning signs your penis is trying to warn you. Sign 1. Morning wood. Disappears. For decades, men have woken up and thought nothing of it. That early morning firmness was just part of life. But here's the truth. Morning erections are one of the most important health signals your body gives you. Why? Because they happen when you're not even thinking about sex. You're asleep. You're not stimulated. Which means these erections are purely physiological, not psychological. They're your body's way of saying blood flow is good, hormones are balanced, nerves are working, you're okay. So when morning wood disappears or becomes noticeably weaker or less frequent, it's time to pause. Not panic, but pause. The loss of spontaneous erections, especially in the early morning hours, is often the first sign of declining blood flow. For some men, it's also linked to falling testosterone or rising cortisol, the stress hormone that silently disrupts your body's natural rhythms. Let me be clear, missing 1 or 2 days isn't a red flag, but if you go a week, 2 weeks, a month without them, that's your body sending a signal. What to do? Track it. Start by simply noting yes or no each morning. Don't judge, just observe. Then support your system. Improve sleep hygiene, reduce alcohol, and try adding nitrate-rich foods like spinach or beets in your dinner. Those help promote overnight nitric oxide production, which supports nocturnal erections. Your body wants to restore this. You just have to give it the tools. Sign 2, subtle curvature or stiffness that wasn't there before. Imagine this. You notice a slight bend during an erection. It wasn't there last year. Or maybe there's a firmness on one side, a tightness, a feeling like the skin doesn't stretch quite like before. This could be an early sign of Peyronie's disease, a condition where scar tissue forms inside the penis, causing curvature, pain, and eventually even shortening. It often begins quietly. No trauma, no obvious cause, just micro damage over time, vigorous sex, poor healing, inflammation, all silently shaping the tissue inside your shaft. Many men ignore it until the curvature worsens or intercourse becomes uncomfortable. But the sooner you act, the better your outcomes. How? First, don't stretch or force it straight. That can worsen the scarring. Instead, see a urologist early. There are non-invasive treatments like traction therapy, collagenase injections, and even supplements that may help reduce plaque formation if caught early. Remember, your penis is like any other part of your body. When tissue stiffens or shape changes, it's not a cosmetic issue. It's a functional one. Sign 3, numbness or loss of sensation. This one often flies under the radar. You may still get erections, you may still finish, but something feels off. Less sensation, less pleasure. A sort of disconnect between what your brain wants and what your body feels. This isn't about arousal, it's about nerve health. The nerves that control sensation and function in the penis are incredibly delicate. They run alongside blood vessels and are highly vulnerable to pressure, blood sugar damage, and poor circulation, tight underwear, sitting too long, high blood glucose. Even certain medications can start to dull sensation over time, and once it goes too far, it becomes much harder to restore. Here's what you can do. Switch to looser-fitting, breathable underwear, preferably cotton. Move more. Long periods of sitting restrict blood and nerve flow to the pelvic area. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, take it seriously. Blood sugar is like acid to your nerves. Add healthy fats like avocado, walnuts, olive oil to nourish the nerve sheath and support conduction. And don't be afraid to use gentle touch exercises, non-sexual at first. Reconnect your brain to your body slowly. Sensation is not lost forever, but it needs care. Sign 4, skin changes, redness, sores, or unusual dryness. The skin of the penis is one of the most sensitive areas of the body, which means it often shows irritation first, even before you notice symptoms elsewhere. If you start seeing redness that doesn't go away, flaky, cracked skin, small sores or ulcers, discoloration dryness, or peeling despite moisturizing, it's time to pay attention. These could be signs of mild irritation from harsh soaps, fragrances, or tight clothing. A fungal infection, especially in uncircumcised men, early signs of lichen sclerosis, or even rare penile skin cancers, STIs like herpes or syphilis. Many men are embarrassed to show their doctor these changes. But here's the truth. Most skin conditions can be treated easily if caught early. Use gentle, unscented soap. Avoid scrubbing. Pat dry, especially under the foreskin, and inspect. Just like you'd check a mole on your arm or a lump on your neck, your genital skin deserves the same care. It's not vanity, it's vigilance. Sign 5. Trouble staying hard. This is the one most men notice first, and the one most try to hide. You can still get hard, but staying hard feels like a battle. It takes more focus, more effort. Sometimes you lose the erection midway through. Other times, it never quite gets there. This is not about your partner. It's not about your age. It's about your vascular system. An erection requires a finely tuned balance of blood inflow and outflow. If your arteries are stiff, if your endothelial lining is damaged, if your blood pressure is unstable, that balance breaks. And the result? Inconsistent firmness, difficulty staying engaged. Here's what's critical. According to the Mayo Clinic, 14% of men who develop erectile dysfunction will have a cardiovascular event, like a heart attack, within 7 years. That's not a scare tactic, it's a warning system. Your penis is one of the earliest places to show vascular dysfunction. So when this sign shows up, it's not just about intimacy, it's about your heart. What helps? Aerobic exercise, walking, swimming, biking, improves blood vessel elasticity. Nitric oxide boosters from leafy greens and beets help relax arteries. Managing stress and sleep reduces sympathetic overdrive, which constricts vessels. And yes, talk to your doctor. Blood pressure, cholesterol, testosterone, all matter. Erectile challenges are not failures, they're feedback. Your body is not giving up on you, it's calling you in. James was a retired truck driver from Ohio. He'd spent most of his adult life on the road, long hours, fast meals, short sleep. He was the kind of man who didn't complain, didn't see doctors unless something was broken, and believed you should just tough it out. But about 6 months after his 64th birthday, James noticed something. At first, it was just a little numbness. Not pain, not dysfunction, just less feeling during intimacy with his wife. He didn't say anything. Maybe it was the mattress. Maybe she was tired. Maybe it was in his head. Then the morning wood stopped. He used to wake up with it like clockwork, but now, nothing. Still, he didn't speak up. He figured, this is probably what getting older feels like. But over the next few months, the changes got harder to ignore. Subtle curvature started forming during erections. It wasn't painful, but it was new. His stamina dropped. He began making excuses to avoid intimacy, not because he didn't want it, but because he was afraid of disappointment. That fear turned into shame. And that shame, it started isolating him from the woman he'd loved for over 30 years. Finally, after some encouragement from his wife, who said softly one night, "I miss you," James agreed to see a doctor. The diagnosis surprised him. Early Peyronie's disease, early signs of prediabetes, and mild erectile dysfunction related to vascular stiffness. What shocked James most wasn't the diagnosis. It was the fact that all those quiet changes he dismissed for months were actually his body trying to warn him. His doctor didn't prescribe pills right away. Instead, they focused on lifestyle, more walking, less processed food, added magnesium and omega-3s, gentle traction therapy for his curvature, and perhaps most important, open conversation with his partner. Within 12 weeks, James saw measurable changes. Sensation began to return. Erections became more reliable. His wife smiled more. And for the first time in a long time, so did he. He later told his doctor something that stuck with me. "I thought I was losing my manhood, but what I was really losing was connection. To myself, to my wife, to my health. And once I stopped ignoring the signs, I started feeling like me again." James's story is not rare. It's just rarely talked about. And maybe that's what makes it powerful, because for every man who speaks up, there are thousands who are still silent, still wondering, still waiting. But they don't have to. Your penis isn't just about pleasure or performance. It's actually one of the most finely tuned health indicators in your entire body. Here's why. An erection requires 3 systems to work in perfect harmony. Your blood vessels need to open and fill. Your nerves need to send and receive signals. Your hormones, especially testosterone, need to stay balanced. If just one of these systems starts to falter, your erections will show it first, long before you feel symptoms anywhere else. Think of your body like a house with water pipes. When you're young, those pipes are clean, wide, and flexible. Water flows easily, but over time, little by little, minerals build up. The pipes get stiff, pressure drops. You don't notice it at first. Then one day, the faucet doesn't turn on like it used to. Not because the faucet is broken, but because the pipes are clogged. That's what happens to your circulation. All 3 of these systems, blood flow, nerves, and hormones, can be improved. Not overnight, not with a magic pill, but with smart food choices, movement, sleep, and stress reduction. Your body knows how to heal if you give it what it needs. So when your penis sends you a message, whether it's numbness, softer erections, or morning wood fading, don't just get frustrated. Get curious. It might be the most honest feedback your body ever gives you. As you age, your blood vessels lose flexibility. Tiny plaques build up inside. Nitric oxide, the molecule your body uses to open those vessels, starts to decline. And where do you feel it first? In the penis. Because the arteries that supply blood to the penis are narrower than the ones going to your heart or brain. That makes them the first to struggle when blood flow slows down. So when you have trouble getting or keeping an erection, it's not just about libido. It could be your body whispering, "Hey, I'm struggling to move blood where it needs to go." The same goes for nerve signals. If you start losing sensation, that can mean the nerves are being compressed or even damaged by high blood sugar or poor circulation. And hormones, low testosterone doesn't just affect your desire. It reduces nitric oxide, lowers muscle tone, slows down repair, and raises body fat, all of which make erections harder to sustain. Now here's the hopeful part. All 3 of these systems, blood flow, nerves, and hormones, can be improved. Not overnight, not with a magic pill, but with smart food choices, movement, sleep, and stress reduction. Your body knows how to heal if you give it what it needs. So when your penis sends you a message, whether it's numbness, softer erections, or morning wood fading, don't just get frustrated. Get curious. It might be the most honest feedback your body ever gives you. You might be sitting there thinking, okay, this all makes sense, but it feels like a lot. You're not alone in that feeling. When we start noticing changes, especially intimate ones, it's easy to go straight into panic mode, or worse, shut down completely. But here's what I want you to hear clearly. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to begin. Healing doesn't come from doing 10 things perfectly. It comes from doing one thing consistently. Maybe for you, that's starting to track your morning wood. Yes or no every morning. One simple line in a notebook. That's it. Maybe it's switching your harsh soap for something gentle and fragrance-free, or walking for 15 minutes after lunch to boost blood flow, or drinking 1 glass of beet juice before bed to support nitric oxide. These are not massive life overhauls. They're micro adjustments, and the beauty is they compound. Each small choice builds trust between you and your body. You're telling it, "I'm listening now. I care about what you're trying to tell me." And your body, it responds. Not always overnight, but slowly, quietly. Then one morning, you wake up and realize something feels better. Lighter, steadier, more alive. Let me tell you about Luis, a 58-year-old man I once worked with. He didn't change his whole diet. He didn't join a gym. He simply started walking his dog 20 minutes every morning and switched from sugary cereal to eggs and spinach. 3 months later, he told me, "I feel like I got 10% of myself back." That 10% became his motivation to go further. So ask yourself, what's the smallest possible action I can take today? Just to listen. Pick it. Commit to it for 1 week. Then let your body speak. It's never too late to rebuild trust with yourself. And no, you haven't missed your chance, not even close. If you're still here, watching this video to the very end, I want to say something clearly. That already makes you different. You didn't ignore the signs. You didn't brush them off. You chose to listen, to understand, to care. And that choice, it's powerful. Because for so many men, especially after 50, the instinct is to stay silent, to think it's just part of aging, to feel embarrassed, to carry questions without ever asking them out loud. But the truth is, your body has been speaking to you this whole time, not to scare you, not to shame you, but to protect you, to guide you, to remind you that it's never too late to feel connected again. So if something in this video resonated, I invite you to take one small step forward. Leave a comment below, even just a number. Drop a 5 if you've experienced one of these signs before, or a 0 if this opened your eyes to something you've never thought about. Not for me, but for someone else reading through, wondering if they're the only one. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, where we talk openly, calmly, and truthfully about real health issues, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell. This channel isn't about hype, it's about honesty. And if you ever want to share your story, your questions, or your concerns, this is a space for that. Because you are not broken, you are not behind, and you are certainly not alone. Your health matters, your pleasure matters. And you still have time to feel strong, clear, and alive again. This is just the beginning, and I'm here with you every step of the way.